All right, folks, Positive Paul, otherwise known as Pain in the Ass Paul. This is amazing, folks. Hot off the press, I just recently time traveled back to the year 1988 and spoke with Lyndon LaRoche. And what he told me is that the Satanists are escalating the war against Western civilization. And one of his crack news staff, Mark Birdman, who paid with his life over in Germany and was possibly poisoned, but we can't be for sure, but I think we can. He reported on February 24th, folks, in 1988, that one of the more revealing slanders of the 1980s was hurled against Lyndon LaRoche by the Panamanian opposition newspaper La Prensa. Come on, give me a big shout for Noriega, folks. Don't you just love that guy? Wasn't he awesome? LaRoche was attacked as a detractor of Basilides, a Gnostic pagan philosopher of the 2nd century AD, who is highly revered among pagans and Satanists today, particularly in Central America and parts of South America. Basilides was also the pen name adopted by the New Age psychologist Carl Gustav Jung in his first published book. Goodness gracious, folks. Now, to the informed intelligence specialists, this charge might have been seen as a signal that 1988 would be a singular year for activation of Satanist cults. And indeed it was. Communications amongst Satanist organizations early in the year defined 1988 as a year for public combat against Christian belief. Do I make myself clear, folks? Along similar lines, green and ecological groups worldwide began to more explicitly embrace the Roman model Great Mother cultism. Great Mother cults practice ritual sacrifices and like horrors. So, 1988 witnessed a contagion of devil-worshipping youth suicide cults and abductions of children for use in child sex and sacrifice rituals. Hey, the Franklin scandal, anybody? This contagion appeared in Britain, northern Germany, Yugoslavia, across the Atlantic in the United States, and across the Pacific in New Zealand. It should also be recalled that 1988 was the year in which it was revealed that both Roddy and Nancy Reagan were involved in astrological mysticism. This prompted Lyndon LaRoche to warn in EIR's Executive Intelligence Review, May 20th, 88 cover story, "Astrology is a threat to national security. Surely all history shows that astrology is a structure based on worship of Satan. And surely most Americans must agree that worship of Satan is a pretty nasty form of sin." Hey, does that still hold true today, folks? In fact, the astrologers influencing the Reagans were creatures of the World War II Air British Occult Bureau, who LaRoche stressed had deep ties to the overtly Satan-worshipping Theosophical... Ay, folks, this is crazy. Had deep ties to the overtly Satan-worshipping Theosophical Society of Annie Besant, Madame Blavatsky, and Aleister Crowley, and Astor-backed Rudolf Steiner. Why not kill Satan? If LaRoche were singled out as the Satanist public enemy number one, just like Positive Paul is, folks, it is also true that LaRoche and associates have launched war against Satanism. That's right, folks, and I told you people 3 years ago, I'm going to carry on the work of Lyndon LaRoche. Every time I tried that, they would either remove the videos, cut them short, but not today, folks. In the April 1st EIR cover story, Elliot Abrams backs Nazis in Panama. Nazis in Panama. Goodness gracious, folks. Partly written in response to the detractor of the Basilides attack, LaRoche asserted. It is this pro-Satanist self-styled brotherhood of such fellows as Oxford's John Ruskin, Dostoevsky, Nietzsche, Burdva, Gorky, Blavatsky, Crowley, H.G. Wells, Bertrand Russell, hey, Tavistock Institute, anybody? And so on, which is the enemy of all mankind, meaning humans, folks. And the author of Neo-Malthusian, Dionysian. Now, the MK Ultra rituals are based off the Dionysian rituals that were done in Rome. The whole satanic ritual abuse thing, the Dionysian rituals is where that was derived from, as it took a more modern approach to the satanic ritual sacrifice. Uh-oh, folks. Who's flying overhead right now? It must be the Blue Underbelly American Nazi Reptoid Perp plane. Here on November 20th, 2020, on a Friday, folks. And it's Freaky Friday. I'm in a funny mood. In a September 30 piece, Behind the Mask of So-Called Communism, under the subtitle The True Enemy Satan, he declared that the Satanism of Nietzsche, Crowley, et al. Was the key agency to be destroyed as a precondition for victory in irregular warfare. He warned that the communist and fascist instruments of Satanism aim to make destructive hatred of the good the pleasure of the recruit, and to achieve a global new dark age. Goodness gracious, folks. And a one-world government under the rule of the international socialism. Oh my God. Please help us, Lord. Weeks later, these goofballs, LaRoche Wart, the real adversary of the human race is Satan, and that great whore Ishtar Isis, his mother. He asked, why not kill Satan, whom such as Friedrich Nietzsche and Aleister Crowley worshipped? Are we not the Creator's right arm, endowed with that reason, with no other earthly creature possesses, that we, as dutiful creatures of providence, might do precisely such awesome deeds? When the time came, we must do so. Yes, Americans, the humans that are left, please pay attention. The declaration of war accumulated in a November 18, 1988 memorandum entitled A Worldwide Anti-Bolshevik Mobilization is now in progress, published as the lead story of EIR's December 9th edition. We are at war. Hey, there's two levels to the Satanist mobilization of 88. There has been a proliferation of Satanist cults as such, and there has been the increasingly open embrace of Satanism by powerful forces among the international liberal elites. New Zealand is a nation undergoing economic contraction and large-scale unemployment after decades of prosperity. Their growing numbers of teenagers have been pulled into suicide cults, the ideology of which is centered on listening to the death-obsessed lyrics of rock groups such as Gothic. A London Times feature, September 26, reported that the country was experiencing a surge of teenage suicides, to the extent that suicide had become the second biggest killer of New Zealanders aged between 15 and 24. Oh my God. The Gothic children dress up in black, color their rooms black, paint their faces white. They also play role-playing board games, one of which supposedly originated in the 14th century, the century of the last great dark age. Youth behaving in similar fashion, dressed in black, wearing white makeup, sleeping in coffins, were reported earlier in the year in the economically depressed Zagreb region of Yugoslavia. The authorities issued a bulletin warning that situation was going out of control. Now let's just skip down. In Bavaria, estimates are that between 20 and 50% of youth students are involved in occult practices. Experts stress that is straight path from occultism to Satanism. In certain regions in North Germany, Satanism has become an epidemic in high schools and the prime concern of parents and clergy in the region. In Britain, the Child Watch organization estimates that as many as 4,000 children per year are used as sacrifice victims or subject to horrifying rituals, and then they're hidden down below Buckingham Palace. Gee, the Queen. Don't put a knife in her hand. Don't put a fork either, folks. So let's see, folks. The Beltane conspiracy. Okay, let's see. Let's cut to the chase. The Ordo Templi Orientis, the secret Order Templi Orientis, an organization created by the late Aleister Crowley, is the probable command center of Satanism. OTO has at least 48 offices in the United States. One offshoot. Hey, offshoot 100. Love ya. I wish you would come on my channel, though, and say, hello, Positive Paul. Yes, I believe in your work. We're brothers in arms. I still love you, though, bro. Look, I don't tell anybody to do anything, do I? So, look, this Crowley organization that Michael Aquino has managed to infiltrate the U.S. military, NATO. Oh, goodness gracious, folks. It's horrible. Leading British Satanists were among those who traveled to Turin, Italy for a 5-day conference on the devil. No less on my birthday.
Paul,
Yeah.
what time?